Finally, in keeping with Vermont state law, we remind that smoking is prohibited anywhere on school grounds. Thank you and enjoy the game. Now, today's starting lineups. First, the visitors from Burr and Burton. Number 15, junior Justin Wilson. Number 13, junior Matt Sienna. Number 21, senior David W. Macon. Senior number 25, Ben Colgrove. And number 22, senior Scott Borgo. And now for all the Red Raiders. Junior, number 12, Jake Conway. 6'1", freshman, number 21, Jake Eaton. 6'2", senior, number 22, Aaron Boynton. 5'9", senior, number 23, Chris Mayhew. 6'2", senior, number 24, Aaron Bailey.
At the play of our national anthem, will be set to go. The Bulldogs and the Rutland High Red Raiders tonight at the Keep Gym. Listen into the game, and then the Fiesta Bowl starts at 8:30.
Well, 8:30. Well,
actually,
8 o'clock the telecast begins, and by the time they introduce the next of kin to all the players on both rosters, it'll be 9:15. And I just wanted to tell you, Jack, I told you so about Notre Dame.
Yeah, you did. Well,
had to throw that in.
I know a loss is a loss, except that
hey, they were competitive. They played a great game.
A loss is a loss, but it's that game actually was closer than I thought.
Yes, it was a very entertaining game. In fact,
anyway, I didn't know until this morning.
Hey, most of the bowl games over the weekend were very entertaining. A couple blowouts here and there, but a lot of close games.
It'll be Ben Colgrove jumping center for the Bulldogs, Aaron Boynton for the Raiders. The Raiders going left to right here in the first half. Bulldogs right to left as we look out. And Sieska with it as Burr and Burton controls the tap. Sieska gives it to Dudley Macon. Down low to Colgrove, and he lays it up no good, in and out. And the rebound controlled by Boynton. Sends it down for Mayhew. Roars into the forecourt. Mayhew to the left sideline to Eaton. Cross court to Boynton, right side of the lane. Dribbles once. Goes to Conway, right sideline. Back out front to Mayhew. Left wing, Jake Eaton with it. On the bounce out front to Conway as the Bulldogs are in the man-to-man. Now to Boynton, left side of the lane. Aaron Boynton on the bounce. Down low to Bailey, left side of the lane. Throws it out now for Eaton to the left baseline. Dumps it now for Bailey from the baseline. Tried to go up with it. The shot blocked, but he was fouled. And so Bailey will be at the line for two. The foul is on Scott Borhill, his first on Burr and Burton. It is a shooting foul. Aaron Bailey, a 6'2" senior, just underway. The Raiders won the JV game tonight, 68-41.
Good patience by the Raiders offensively that time. 6 and 7 passes from the perimeter. Finally, Jake Eaton broke down the defense, dished it inside to Bailey, who missed the first of two.
He's got another one coming up. No score, 7:24 left first quarter. Aaron Bailey, a left-hander, throws up the second shot. He hits that. He gets 1 out of 2, and the Raiders lead at 1-0. Quickly the other way. Here come the Bulldogs, and trying to go down low was Justin Wilson. Wanted to go to Dudley Macon, went by him and out of bounds. A turnover there against the Bulldogs. It's the Raiders basketball. They have it quickly into the forecourt as Bailey has it right sideline to Conway. Picked up by Borhill off the man-to-man out front to Mayhew. The Bulldogs in the man-to-man. Mayhew into the lane, running right-hander, no good. Conway the rebound, back up and good. Dribble once in the lane, put it back up again, and the Raiders lead at 3-0. And the Raiders set up some full-court pressure as the pass comes into Matt Sieska. Gets it up to Dudley Macon. Now with it left side to Scott Borhill. Pulls up for the 17-footer and drills it. Scott Voorhill, a 6'1 senior, gets the first bucket of the ball game for Burr and Burton. The Raiders lead it 3-2. Raiders have it in the forecourt with Jake Eaton, left sideline. On the bounce out front to Conway. Conway comes to the right sideline to Aaron Bailey, picked up by Colgrove. Now to Mayhew. Dribbles to the left side of the lane, dumps it off for Aaron Boynton to the left baseline. His jumper's no good. Rebound, fought for, scramble, and it goes out of bounds. It goes off. Burr and Burton, it'll be Rutland's basketball.
The matchup early on, as we pointed out, Jack, was Jake Conway matched up against Dudley Macon, and Dudley Macon's got 4 or 5 inches on Conway, but Conway's so tough and aggressive, he's kept the ball out of his hands so far.
Play back in, Boynton with it left side, now to Mayhew, into the lane, ducks underneath. His shot is redirected by Colgrove, and it goes out of bounds.
There's a perfect opportunity for Chris Mayhew to pick up some early assists. Broke the defense down as he does so well, and drew 2 defenders, had Bailey open, but he opted to take it himself. It was deflected out of bounds.
There's the Raiders controlling the forecourt out front. Bailey on the right now to Mayhew, to the right side of the lane. On the left now to Eaton, his 15-footer bang. And the Raiders go up 5-2. They set up some full court pressure. Matt Sieska picked up by Eaton in the backcourt, but he blows by everybody into the forecourt as he breaks the pressure, goes coast to coast, lays it up, no good. Boynton the rebound. Ahead now to Conway, 1-on-2. Conway into the lane, lays it up, no good. He was fouled, I believe, by Colgrove. And that would be the first on Colgrove, second on the team.
Jake Conway, in no way, shape, or form, was going to hold that ball up and wait for his teammates to arrive. The basket to him looks like the end zone in football. He just put
he didn't have the numbers, but he didn't care.
He put his head down and headed straight for it. He said, I'm either going to make the layup or I'm going to the line for 2. He did get one of those 2, and he's at the line. He hits the first.
And Conway has another one coming up after drilling the first as the Raiders lead at 6-2 with 5:50 left first quarter. Jack Healy, Vince Salo were at the Keefe Gym. Second shot by Conway is good, gets them both, and the Raiders have opened up a 7-2 lead. Sieska double team in the backcourt, throws it into the forecourt for Voorhill as the Bulldogs break the pressure. Voorhill picked up by Mayhew. Both clubs in the man-to-man. Voorhill controlling off the dribble on the bounce to Dudley Macon. Sends it out now around the horn to Wilson. To the left corner to Sieska. Down low to Colgrove, and he lays it in. 7-4, the Raiders up by 3. With it right sidelines, Jake Conway with it. And underneath, he wanted to go to Boynton, went by him and out of bounds, hit the netting of the basket and went flying out of bounds. It'll be Burr and Burton's basketball. As the pass comes in now to Scott Voorhill. And Voorhill will trot into the forecourt easily down the left sideline for the Bulldogs. Going to work on Mayhew. Sends it out front to Matt Sieska. On the right to Dudley Macon. And he throws up the bomb. It's no good. A rebound to Mayhew. Mayhew into the forecourt. Mayhew to the left side of the lane. Goes to the left corner now to Conway. Up for 3. It's no good. Rebound Mayhew. And we got a whistle and a foul.
Going to be on Chris Mayhew pushing off. Although Conway was unable to hit that jump shot, that's what Chris Mayhew can do that can make him so dangerous on the court. He's so quick with the dribble that he just breaks the defense down and forces people to double team him once he gets in the lane. They did so on that time. He kicked it out to Conway, who had a wide open shot.
Again, that foul on Mayhew is first on the team. Voorhill going to work on Mayhew for the Bulldogs in the forecourt. Pulls it up left wing, and his pass cross court picked off by Conway. Drives to the bucket, reverse layup, no good. Dudley Macon on the foul. And that foul on Dudley Macon is his first. And that is the third on the team as Jake Conway was in the act of shooting. He'll be at the line for 2. I got to look down. Of course, Dudley Macon, Dudley hyphenated Macon now. Of course, a year ago we knew him as Damon Dudley, and Conway's shot is no good. He'll get another.
Oh. Damon Dudley making it tough for Jake Conway to convert that layup after the steal. Puts him to the line for 2. He misses the first.
Second shot by Conway is good. He gets 1 out of 2. It's Rutland 8 and Burr and Burton 4. In the forecourt, Voorhill with it. Rifles it now for Dudley Macon to the left baseline. His turnaround is good. And that's his first bucket of the ball game.
He got down the court in a hurry. Converted the layup.
8-6, the Raiders by 2. Here's Boynton, right side of the lane, sends it out right sideline to Conway. Conway stops the dribble, sends it out front to Eaton, dribbles to the right side of the lane, back to Conway, right sideline. His 3 is short, no good. Rebound controlled by the Bulldogs. Voorhill throws it into the forecourt right sideline for Sieska, drives to the bucket, lays it up, no good. And we got an offensive foul on Matt Sieska. That is his first, and that is the 4th on the team.
Both teams not shying away from forcing the tempo. That was going to be Rutland's game plan, and we're seeing it from Burr and Burton here already. They're matching them as far as getting the ball from baseline to baseline here in this first quarter.
Wilcox is in, and out is Justin Wilson for the Bulldogs. Greg Sinus is in for the Raiders.
There's too many Raiders on the court.
And he comes in for Bailey. Yeah, you can't play 6. 6 in hockey, 5 in basketball. That's how it works, right?
Sure.
Mayhew into the forecourt now to Sinus, left sideline to Jake Eaton. Eaton sends it back out now to Mayhew into the lane. Back out to Conway for 3. Bang! Jake Conway on the left hit the 3, and the Raiders lead it now 11-6, a 5-point Raider lead. 3:50 left first quarter.
8 points already for Conway.
And he is on fire. Here's Voorhill, the key to the line of the lane. Shovels it now for Colgrove. Short jumper's good. Great behind-the-back spin on the pass there, and Colgrove hit the easy jumper. Colgrove, it's 11-8, the Raiders by 3. Ben Colgrove is a 6'5 senior playing in the middle for the Burr and Burton Bulldogs. Eaton dribbles left to right into the lane, pulls up for the 14-footer, no good, and it's Dudley Macon with the rebound. Goes coast to coast, spins to the lane, throws it up, no good. Sieska, the follow, no good, and the rebound goes out of bounds.
Got an idea of Dudley Macon's athletic ability that time. Got the rebound at one end, took it down the far side. The spin dribble, tried to make an impossible shot.
Voorhill loops it in for Colgrove. Short jumper in the lane, no good. Boynton, the easy rebound. He goes to Mayhew, rifles into the forecourt for Eaton. Eaton's pass intended for Conway, deflected out of bounds, I believe, by Voorhill. And so it'll be Raiders basketball as Justin Wilson, who got a breather, is back in for the Bulldogs, and Ben Colgrove is out. And Justin Wilson checked out just a few moments ago and got a short breather for the Bulldogs. Mayhew puts the ball into play to Conway out front, top of the circle, to the right sideline to Eaton. His 3 is good. Jake Eaton, the freshman, with a 3. It's Rutland 14, Burr and Burton 8. 2:57 left first quarter. Some full court pressure by the Raiders. Conway steals. Conway on the bounce now to Mayhew into the lane. Mayhew spins, and we got a 3-second violation against Rutland High.
How about Jake Conway?
Oh, what a play by Conway. And Conway is out, and Joe Duval checks in for Rutland High.
It's like a bloodhound. They just wipe the ball in front of his nose before the game and say, go get it. And he does.
Dudley Macon now with it for the Bulldogs all the way into the lane. And he tried to come back out to Wilcox going down the lane. The ball knocked out of bounds by the Raiders. Burr and Burton's basketball. Getting set to put the ball into play will be Scott Voorhill from the baseline for the Bulldogs. Voorhill looking around. Voorhill still looking, gets it in left wing to Wilson, drives to the bucket, lays it up, no good. Rebound to Greg Sinus, outlet now to Mayhew, throws it to the forecourt for Eaton, pulls up left side for the jumper, and hits off the glass.
That's Rutland's strength right there, down the far sideline, 2 passes, 1 dribble, easy jump shot.
Rutland leading at 16-8. The inbounds pass as the Raiders put up the full court pressure, knocked out of bounds by Mayhew. The 8-point Raider lead as Ben Colgrove checks in for the Bulldogs, and out is Justin Wilson. As Adam Wilcox gets set to put the ball into play against full court pressure and gets into Colgrove. Picked up in the backcourt by Sinus. Sends it up now to Scott Voorhill. Voorhill into the forecourt down the middle to the right side of the circle. Gets it for Dudley Macon. Had to pick it up off the floor to the right side of the lane. His 12-footer is an air ball, but he was fouled. Damon Dudley Macon will be at the line for 2 in the act of shooting. The foul is on Joe Duval. That is his first, second on the team. Damon Dudley Macon, a 6'3 senior.
So far in this first quarter, that was one of the problems that Rutland had in their holiday tournament, was points in a hurry. 2:12 left in the first quarter. Already they have 16 points, and that is directly a result of how quickly they're pushing the ball up the court, especially on the one pass from Mayhew all the way the length of the court down to Eaton, who made the jump shot.
Dudley Macon hits the first. His second shot is also good off the 2 free throws. It's now Rutland 16, Burr and Burton 10. Into the forecourt, Chris Mayhew. Looks like Burr and Burton is set up in the 2-3 zone now. Now to the left baseline to Boynton. Reverse layup is no good, and the rebound controlled by Matt Sieska. Gives it to Voorhill. Voorhill into the forecourt. Voorhill top of the circle, back to the right sideline to Sieska. Cross court to Wilcox, and he couldn't find the handle. He loses it out of bounds. Adam Wilcox, if he hung on to that, had the easy, uncontested layup.
Brian Mayhew, hold on to that tape. We'll make a blooper tape out of that right there, right through his hands, off his forehead.
Mayhew now goes to Eaton left sideline. Cross court now to Duval. Looks like the 1-3-1 zone. Duval wanted to go inside a point, knocked away. Sieska picks it off for Burr and Burton to Dudley Macon. Dudley Macon into the lane, lays it up, no good. Rebound Dudley Macon at the right baseline. Underneath, puts it up, no good. Rebound tapped around, up, no good by Wilcox. He was fouled. Adam Wilcox will be at the line for 2. He was in the act of shooting third on the Raiders.
Fouls on Sinus, his first. Once again, Dudley Macon operating on that right wing. That's the wing he likes to run offensively. He took it to the elbow, actually tried a finger roll, stayed with it, followed his missed shot, followed it again, and finally Wilcox ends up at the line with 2, misses a first, and Conway's back in replacing Eaton.
Wilcox, a 6'1 senior, has got another one coming as, again, he missed the first. 16-10, it's Rutland by 6, a minute 24 left first quarter. Second shot by Wilcox around the rim and in, so the Raiders lead it by 5 now, 16-11. Wilcox out, Justin Wilson back in for Burr and Burton. And checking into the ball game for the Raiders now is John Lind, and checking out is Greg Sinus. So it is Lind along with Mayhew, Duval, Boynton, and Conway for Rutland High. Again, the 1-3-1 zone for Burr and Burton. Left sideline, Duval with it. And he comes cross court down to Conway, right wing. Dribbles to the right side of the lane, into the lane, scoops it up and in. Nice move to the lane, to the bucket for Conway.
He's got 10 points, so 10 of the Rutland 18 points in his first quarter.
And we got a foul on Conway as the Raiders lead at 18-11. The pass came into Damon Dudley Macon, and Conway fouled him immediately. That's the first on Conway, and that is the 4th on the team. Burton Burton's basketball. Matt Sieska, along with Scott Voorhill. Ben Colgrove is in there. Justin Wilson, the original starting 5, and Damon Dudley Macon. And Dudley Macon with it in the backcourt for the Bulldogs. The Raiders are in the man-to-man. Bulldogs started off in the man-to-man, went to the zone. It appears to be the 1-3-1 zone. With a right corner, Dudley Macon out to Sieska, right side for 3. Bang. Matt Sieska, 5'11 junior for the Bulldogs. The Raiders lead at 18-14. And we got a foul on Sieska as Duval had it at the right sideline in the forecourt. That foul on Sieska right after hitting the 3 is his second. And that is the 5th on the team. As into the ball game is Alden Maddox now for Burr and Burton. Sieska checks out. 43 seconds left first quarter. It's Rutland 18, Burr and Burton 14. And it's Rutland's basketball from the baseline near the corner as Mayhew gets set to put the ball into play. Mayhew looking around, gets it into Conway right sideline against the Burr and Burton zone. Conway sends it out front to Duval, dribbles once and goes to Mayhew. 36 seconds left in the quarter. Mayhew to the right sideline to Conway, picked up by Colgrove off the zone, dribbles into the lane on the left now to Duval, down the left baseline. We got a 3-second violation against Rutland. It'll be Burr and Burton's basketball with 28 seconds left in the first quarter. As the pass comes in to Scott Voorhill, a 6'1 senior. He'll be picked up by Mayhew as he slowly brings it into the forecourt down the middle. Voorhill controlling off the dribble. Has it between the left sideline in the middle now and brings it back toward the middle again. 12 seconds left in the quarter. Dudley Macon with it right sideline. Now here's Wilson with it. His 15-footer is good from the left side of the lane. 18-16, the Raiders by 2.
Climbed right back into this game.
2 seconds left in the quarter. Here's Mayhew in the lane. Running right-handers no good as time expires, ending the first quarter. So Burr and Burton trails by only 2, even though the Raiders somewhat dominated in that first quarter. After a quarter, Rutland 18, Burr and Burton 6. Fast break, 6th player award winner for the Raiders, a J.P. Carrera & Sons Most Valuable Player. The 6th player award winner will get the cap from H.A. Eddy Energy Fast Break on Woodstock Avenue. And, of course, the MVP will get all the souvenirs from J.P. Carrera & Sons. Rutland 18, Burr and Burton 16 as we get set for the second quarter. Tonight's game to be taped, broadcast at a later date on Channel 15. And Brian Mayhew is the cameraman.
Well, if the game were to end after 1 period, undoubtedly our MVP would be Jake Conway. 10 points in the opening period and doing a masterful job of keeping the ball out of the hands of Damon Dudley Macon.
Raiders basketball, Eaton back in. He has it left side. Comes cross court now to Conway, top of the circle. His 3 is no good. Rebound to Dudley Macon. Rifles it into the forecourt for Colgrove. He goes to Voorhill behind the back. Wanted to go back to Colgrove, and Aaron Bailey picks it off. Too much tricky passing there. Mayhew stutter steps to the lane, throws up the runner. It's no good. Rebound Wilson. Justin Wilson for the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs going with Borhill, Wilson. Also in there is Maddox and Damon Dudley-Macon and Ben Colgrove. And with it is Borhill to the left sideline. He goes to Justin Wilson. Sends it out now to Dudley-Macon, top of the circle for three. It's no good. A rebound to Boynton. Aaron Boynton, Aaron Bailey, Chris Mayhew, Jake Eaton, and Jake Conway for the Raiders. Early going second quarter. On the bounce left sideline is Eaton. And Eaton wanted to go out to Boynton, and Mayhew tries to save it and couldn't do it. It went toward the backcourt. Mayhew hustling all the way. Tried to save it, but it went off Mayhew out of bounds. It'll be Burr and Burton's basketball. Maddox puts the ball into play to Borhill. Borhill in the forecourt against Mayhew. Borhill dribbles toward the right and goes to Dudley-Macon. Near the right corner, picked up by Conway. Damon Dudley-Macon to the right baseline. Comes cross court now, left wing to Borhill. His bomb is good. It's a two-pointer just inside the three-point line. That ties it up at 18 apiece. 6:37 left here in the first half of the keep. Jim Conway with it, left sideline. Conway to the left baseline. On the bounce, wanted to go to Eaton. Picked off by Borhill, and Borhill threw it out of bounds off Eaton. Nice play by Scott Borhill.
And Coach Dave Kinsman from Rutland, not happy whatsoever, takes a timeout here with 6:30 remaining in the first half.
So Dave Kinsman with a timeout. The Raiders first. 6:30 left first half here at the keep. Jim, we're tied at 18 apiece. We'll be back after this 30-second break. Rod Blair is our engineer tonight. It's the Bulldogs and the Raiders, too, here at the Keep. Jim tied at 18 apiece. Tomorrow night, we'll be back here at the Keep. Jim, girls basketball, Rutland High hosting Mount Anthony. We'll be on the air at 7:20. We'll see Burr and Burton on Friday night. We'll be back in town at MSJ. We'll be on the air in boys basketball at 7:20.
And I tell you right now, Burr and Burton is making a mountain out of a Borhill.
Like that.
I tell you. He took over the point guard duties when Sieska went out with 2 fouls. He handles the ball remarkably well. And looking across the gym, I know Coach Matt Dempsey from Green Mountain College, Coach Dave Blake from Castleton. I'm sure here to see Damon Dudley-Macon. This Borhill may have caught their attention here tonight with his performance so far.
With it is Wilson, loops it underneath for Colgrove, lays it up, no good. Borhill the rebound, back up, no good. Rebound Bailey. Bailey now goes to Mayhew. Mayhew loops it into the forecourt, intended for Conway. Back to steal is Justin Wilson. Wilson to Borhill on the bounce to Dudley-Macon. He saved it at the baseline to Maddox. Now to Borhill, left sideline to Wilson for three. Bang. Whoa, they look good on that. They went around the horn. 21-18, a three-point Burr and Burton lead after that three-pointer. Jake Eaton with it left sideline on the forecourt for the Raiders. Now to Conway out near midcourt. On the right, it's Mayhew. The 1-3-1 Burr and Burton zone, it appears. Boynton with it left side of the circle, stolen away by Borhill. Borhill goes all the way to the bucket and lays it in, and it's going to count. He got fouled. He's got an opportunity for a three-point play as Burr and Burton has opened up a 23-18 lead.
Fouls on Jake Eaton. That's his first.
And that is the 5th on the team. As Aaron Boynton checks out, Greg Sinus is in for Rutland High. Scott Borhill, a 6'1 senior, and we just talked about pretty good country player. We talked about him, you and I, Vince, during the break. Is at the line, opportunity for a three-point play. His shot is up and good. To complete the three-point play, and Burr and Burton all of a sudden has opened up a 6-point lead. Burr and Burton 24, Rutland 18. With it is Jake Eaton, loops it out to Bailey, right side of the circle, back to Eaton, left sideline now, Duval with it. Down the baseline, pulls up for the jumper and drills it. Big bucket for Joe Duval there to stop a little Burr and Burton run as Burr and Burton leads it 24-20.
It was an 8-0 run until that Duval basket for Rutland.
With it now is Maddox. Tried to dribble to the lane, brought it back to the sideline. Now Borhill with it. Borhill directing the attack right sideline against Jake Eaton. Borhill down the baseline, dumps it off for Dudley-Macon. He lays it in, but it won't count. We got an offensive foul before the pass on Borhill. And that's the second on Borhill. And that's the 16th foul on Burr and Burton.
Needless to say, Burr and Burton has Dudley, and they have Do-Right on their ball club tonight, and the Do-Right portion is being represented by Borhill. Unfortunately, he picked up his second foul on that last play.
Conway with it, right side of the lane, sends it out to Duval on the left to Eaton, dribbles to the left side of the lane, back to Duval, has to chase it down at midcourt, back to the top of the circle now to Eaton left side. The long three is no good, and the rebound is controlled by Duval to Eaton, drives, lays it up, no good. We've got a foul against Justin Wilson, his first. Eaton will be at the line for 2. He was in the act of shooting. That is the 7th team foul on Burr and Burton. That puts them over the 1-and-1 limit anyway, but it is a 2-shot foul. We got a... Okay, for a minute there I thought we had a timeout, but that's not the case. Jake Eaton will be at the line for 2 for Rutland High. As now checking into the ball game is Brendan Donahue. His first action for Burr and Burton as Wilson checks out. And also checking in is Adam Wilcox. He checked in for Borehill. Eaton at the line for 2. His first shot is good. He'll get another. Burr and Burton 24, Rutland 21. 4:37 left in the first half. Second shot by Jake Eaton is good. Gets them both. 2 free throws for the freshman, Jake Eaton. And Burr and Burton by 2, 24-22. Conway on the steal. Conway goes coast to coast. He goes down, and we got a steal the other way. Dudley Macon all the way to the lane. Running right-hander's good. Looks like Conway was tripped. 26-22, a 4-point Burr and Burton lead now. Here's Duval, right sideline for 3, and he hits. Joe Duval, who hit the big 3s the other night in that title game against Fairhaven, hitting the 3 there, and Burr and Burton's lead down to 1, 26-25. Coming down on 4 minutes left first half. With the left sideline, Donahue gets it out to Maddox, now to Dudley Macon, and his 3 is good.
He's heating up.
From the right side, Damon Dudley Macon, 29-25, Burr and Burton by 4 now. As with it is Eaton on the bounce back to Duval, right sideline for 3, bang! Oh, the battle of 3-pointers, and Duval matches Damon Dudley Macon's 3. It's 29-28, Burr and Burton by 1, and Damon Dudley Macon loses the basketball as Duval steals. Wanted to go down to Eaton, the ball knocked out of bounds by Maddox. It'll be Rutland's basketball as Mike Stempeck checks in for Rutland High for Joe Duval.
8 points in the second quarter for Duval. 6 of those courtesy of 2 3-point shots in a row offensively on 2 consecutive possessions for the Raiders. And it was Duval that did it against Fairhaven. He did it again tonight.
Talk about heating it up. You could call him the microwave, huh?
Oh, we have a Jake Eaton and a Joe Heaton right now for Rutland.
And we got a steal by the Bulldogs. Maddox, and getting back to knock it out of bounds. Stempeck on a nice play as Maddox went toward the bucket. Matt Sieska back in for Burr and Burton, and he is in for Alden Maddox.
Can you top this? That's what this second quarter's been all about. Great play after great play by both ball clubs. Sieska
with it. On the left goes to Donahue. Now with it is Wilcox. Down low he wanted to go, and then the ball knocked out of bounds by Conway. Want to go down low to Dudley Macon as Aaron Boynton checks in for Rutland High, and he will check in for Greg Sinus. Burr and Burton's basketball from the left sideline. Brendan Donahue getting set to put the ball into play. Bulldogs lead it by 1, 29-28. Gets it into play to Colgrove underneath. His jump hook's no good. Rebound to Bailey. Aaron Bailey, Jake Eaton, Mike Stempeck, Aaron Boynton, and Jake Conway for the Raiders. Raiders can retake the lead on this trip down the floor. With it is Bailey at the key. Underneath, Conway lays it in. As he went in backdoor, they didn't see him, and he laid it in easily. 30-29, the Raiders go back up on top. The Raiders lead it by 1. With it right sideline is Dudley Macon. His 3 is no good. Rebound goes to Jake Eaton. Starts the break for the Raiders down the middle. Lost the handle, and we got a steal by Colgrove. Goes ahead to Donahue. Wanted to go down to Dudley Macon. The ball knocked out of bounds by Boynton. It'll be Burr and Burton's basketball as Justin Wilson checks back in for Burr and Burton. He checks in for Adam Wilcox, and we have a Burr and Burton timeout. 2:33 left first half, our score. Rutland 30, Burr and Burton 29. Back after this 30-second break. Point lead. What a second quarter it's been. Matching 3s, Damon Dudley Macon, Joe Duval, and the rest. And Burr and Burton took the timeout.
Wow. That deserves a wow. Both clubs are just... And Coach Kinsman from Rutland pointed it out when I talked to him before the game. Hey, we're going to force the tempo, make Burr and Burton run. That may have been a blessing in disguise for the Bulldogs tonight because they seem to be primed and ready to match Rutland at the running game.
Burr and Burton's ball as Borehill is back in with it. Wilson to Dudley Macon. Back to Borehill, right sideline. Back out front to Sieska. His 3 around the rim, no good. Dudley Macon, the rebound back up, no good, but he was fouled. The shot was blocked by Conway. A foul on Jake Conway is second, and that is the 6th on the team. Burr and Burton already to the 7-team foul situation. Damon Dudley Macon, 6'3" senior, at the line for 2 for the Burr and Burton Bulldogs. He was in the active shooting.
Being blanketed defensively again by Jake Conway, who's about 5'9", 5'10" perhaps, on his tippy toes or wearing high heel shoes. Jake, forgive me for saying that.
Dudley Macon hits the first to tie it at 30 apiece. He's got another one coming.
I tell you, he gives up about 5 inches in height, if not more than that, to Dudley Macon. But he has just been in his shorts the entire first half all over the court.
Dudley Macon misses the second shot. The rebound goes out of bounds off Sieska. It's Rutland's basketball. Going with Bailey, Eaton, Conway, Aaron Boynton, and Mike Stempek. Some full court pressure by the Bulldogs. Eaton with it in the backcourt. Gets it up to Stempek, to Conway as they break it. Conway wanted to go to Boynton on the bounce. The ball kicked out of bounds by Justin Wilson. It'll be Raiders basketball. Wilson along with Borehill, Dudley Macon, also Sieska and Maddox in there right now for Burr and Burton. With it is Aaron Bailey, right side of the circle. Now to Stempek, way out front, picked up by Maddox. Now he gets it to Jake Eaton as Burr and Burton's back in that man-to-man. Picked up by Dudley Macon off the man-to-man as Jake Eaton controls out near midcourt. 2 minutes left in the first half. We're tied at 30 apiece. Right sideline, Aaron Boynton with it. Back on the bounce to Mike Stempek, right wing. On the bounce down the sideline to Eaton. And Eaton almost lost it. Picks it up again at the sideline. Gets it out to Bailey. Bailey dribbles across the key on the left now to Mike Stempek. Back out now to Eaton into the lane underneath. Wanted to go to Bailey. Bailey can't handle the pass. Goes out of bounds. It's Burr and Burton's basketball. Ben Colgrove, the big 6'5" senior center, checks back in for the Bulldogs, and Alden Maddox checks out. Minute 40 left first half. We're tied at 30 apiece. Raiders set up in the man-to-man as Scott Borehill dribbles into the forecourt against Mike Stempek. Down the left sideline, Borehill dribbles to the lane, ducks underneath, lays it up left-handed, no good. Rebound to Boynton, and we get a foul on Borehill. And that is number 3 on Borehill. A huge foul there. That is number 8 on Burr and Burton. Boynton will be at the line for a 1-and-1. As Maddox checks back in, and also Brendan Donahue for the Bulldogs. Borehill is out. And also checking out Colgrove. Stempek checks out for Rutland.
Duval.
And Joe Duval is back in, the microwave.
He certainly was heating it up in this second quarter. 2 3-pointers and a 2-point field goal.
Aaron Boynton's shot is good. He'll get another as the Raiders go back up on top by 1, 31-30. And here's Colgrove going back in. Coach Mensch and Coach Kinsman playing a chess game here because Maddox was in.
And that's right. He can't come back in until there's been a play. The coaching staff pointed that out. He's got to come back out.
See, Maddox has just checked in. Alden Maddox. Colgrove is back out again. Maddox is still in there. They can't do it until after.
The ball has to be live in play and then out of play again for the next substitution.
That's right.
You have to sit for at least a play. It's like in any other sport. You have to come out for 1 play at least.
Boynton's second shot is good. Aaron Boynton gets them both as the Raiders take a 2-point lead, 32-30. Brendan Donahue with it in the backcourt. Donahue still in the backcourt as he stops, gets it to Justin Wilson, right sideline in the forecourt, and he goes back to Brendan Donahue, picked up out front by Duval. On the bounce now to Maddox, right side of the circle. Maddox to the right sideline to Wilson, down low to Damon Dudley, lost the handle, it goes out of bounds, tipped out of bounds apparently by Conway. Will be Burr and Burton's basketball. Now Colgrove checks in for Maddox for the Bulldogs.
The strategy now for Burr and Burton is to move Dudley Macon down to the low block, throw the pass over the top.
Here's Sieska, top of the circle for 3. It's short, no good. Rebound, Duval. Duval on the outlet to Eaton. Eaton throws into the forecourt for Boynton. Boynton to the left baseline, stops. Back out left sideline for Eaton. Out front to Duval. Looks right, back to Eaton to Duval on the right. Now it goes to Conway. Back out front to Eaton. 50 seconds left in the half. Eaton left side of the lane. Back to the left baseline to Duval. His jumper's no good. And Dudley Macon with a rebound. Starts the break on the bounce down to Wilson. He lays it up and in. That ties it at 32 apiece. 35 seconds left first half. The other way, Eaton on the bounce to Boynton, left side of the circle. Left sideline to Duval. Now to Conway. 27 seconds left in the half as the Bulldogs are in the man-to-man. Way out front near the midcourt circle is Jake Eaton, picked up by Dudley Macon. Right sideline, now to the right baseline, and then Jake sends it back out to Conway. 12 seconds left in the half. Conway on the bounce to Eaton. Eaton dribbles to the key to the line, to the lane. We got a foul against Damon Dudley Macon. and that is number 9 on the Bulldogs. And on Damon Dudley Macon, that is number 2. Jake Eaton will be at the line for a 1-and-1 with 7 seconds left in the half, and we're tied up at 32 apiece. Jake Eaton, the freshman, fires up. He's got it, and the Raiders retake the lead 33-32. Jake Eaton, a 6'1" freshman. He's got another one coming. His second shot is good. 2 free throws for the freshman, Jake Eaton. The Raiders lead at 34-32. Dudley Macon with it right side. Gets it to Wilson, right baseline. 2 seconds left in the half, and he hits the jumper at the buzzer. Justin Wilson hit the jumper at the buzzer, and that ties it at 34 apiece at halftime. So we played a half here at the Keep Gym. Our score, Rutland 32
fouls in the first half. Nothing serious for the Raiders. Mayhew, Eaton, Duval, and Sinus with 1 foul each. For Burr and Burton, Sieska with 2 fouls. Borhill, probably the biggest part of their offense as far as getting set up in their offense, picked up 3. Dudley Macon with 2, and Justin Wilson with 1 foul, rounding out the foul trouble for the Bulldogs in the first half.
All right, should be a great second half. It was a great first half. We're tied at 34 apiece. Rutland High and Burr and Burton here at the Keefe Gym. Burr and Burton going with the basketball here at the beginning of the second half.
Left to right.
Left to right.
On your radio.
And Rutland going right to left. I never say on the radio dial, though.
That's right.
Except for now. Borhill with it for the Bulldogs. Borhill to Wilson. Double pops. Shot blocked out of bounds by Boynton.
Long arm of the law. Aaron Boynton.
Boynton blocked it out of bounds. It was Wilson who hit the shot at the buzzer to tie it at the end of the first half. Gets it into Sieska, right sideline. His 3 is no good. Rebound. Tap to Conway. Starts the break. Jake Conway to the left side of the lane. Conway pulls it up. Gets double teamed. Almost lost the handle. Goes to Boynton, right side of the lane. Dribbles once, and he goes to Eaton. Eaton wanted to go to Bailey. He did. Bailey tried to duck underneath. Lost it out of bounds, but he was fouled. It was before a shot. Actually never did take the shot. Who'd they call that foul on?
Justin Wilson. That's his second.
It is on Wilson, number 2, and that is the first on the team.
That block shot by Boynton. What long arms. I'm convinced he could block a shot lying on his back. His arms are so long.
The pass comes in, and it's knocked away. Colgrove steals for Burr and Burton with it now. Borhill to Sieska. Now to Dudley Macon down low. Lost it out of bounds, but it went off the Raiders. I like the line you had the other night. He can tie his shoes without bending over.
Oh, he's some player.
Pass comes into Colgrove, left side. Tried to get it inside. The ball knocked away and picked off by Bailey. Bailey to Mayhew. Mayhew, Aaron Bailey, Jake Conway, Jake Eaton, and Aaron Boynton in there right now for the Raiders. Eaton with it left sideline. Cross court on the bounce to Conway, right sideline to Bailey. Now to Eaton at the right baseline. Almost lost it out of bounds. Did. However, it goes out of bounds off Burr and Burton. Sieska tried to save it and couldn't do it. Matt Sieska, Damon Dudley Macon, Scott Borhill, Ben Colgrove, and Adam Wilson in there right now for the, or Justin Wilson, check it. Justin Wilson in there right now for the Burr and Burton Bulldogs. As the Raiders will put the ball into play from the baseline with Chris Mayhew. Mayhew looking around, loops it out front to Aaron Bailey, halfway between the circles. To the left sideline, back to Mayhew. Mayhew sends it on the right to Conway, right sideline to Eaton. His 3, no good. Rebound, Boynton. His jumper for the baseline, around the rim and in. Aaron Boynton with the offensive rebound for the bucket, got the baseline jumper, and the Raiders lead at 36-34, early going third quarter.
That's normally a foul over the back, but his arms are so long, he just reached right over and made the layup.
Borhill all the way to the lane, lays it up, no good for the Bulldogs, and the rebound is controlled by Bailey to Mayhew. Mayhew throws into the forecourt for Conway on the bounce to Eaton, lost the handle, goes to the deck, saves it nicely for Boynton. Boynton into the lane, a short jumper, no good off the back of the rim. Rebound tapped around, it goes out of bounds, and it goes off Conway. Burr and Burton's basketball.
Aaron Boynton coming out in this third period, really starting to assert himself.
Raiders set up some full-court pressures. The pass comes into Matt Sieska, back to Ben Colgrove, to Dudley Macon. Dudley Macon into the forecourt down the left sideline. Dudley Macon to the left side of the lane. Pass out front. He wanted to go to Borhill, picked off by Mayhew. Mayhew goes to Boynton to the left baseline to Eaton. Eaton goes back out to Mayhew to the key to the line to the lane, back to Eaton left baseline. Short jumper, good, off the glass. Nice ball movement by the Raiders, and the Raiders go up by 4, 38-34. Sieska the other way down the middle, and he goes down to Dudley Macon. He lays it in.
They count it.
They do count it. Gonna count, we got a foul.
Fouls against Chris Mayhew. That's his first on the team here in the second half.
And again, as you mentioned, the first on the team, 38-36, the Raiders by 2. I was a little surprised. I thought for sure that was before the shot. But Damon Dudley-Macon, opportunity for a three-point play, fouled in the act of shooting. And Dudley-Macon's shot is good. To complete the three-point play, he was fouled in the act of shooting, obviously got the bucket and fouled, and he completes the three-point play. And the Raiders lead at 38-37. 1-point lead, 5:48 left third quarter. Burr and Burton in the 1-3-1 zone. Mayhew with it halfway between the circles. First Mayhew directing the attack for Rutland High. Mayhew on the bounce left sideline to Jake Conway. The Raiders with a 1-point lead, and Conway has it knocked out of bounds by Dudley-Macon, and apparently went off Conway.
It went off his thigh.
Burr and Burton will have it in the backcourt, going with Sieska, Damon Dudley-Macon, and also Scott Borehill, and also in there is Justin Wilson and Ben Colgrove. With it into the forecourt is Borehill going to work on Mayhew's man-to-man out of Sieska right sideline. Dribbles to the right side of the lane. Underneath, wanted to go to Colgrove, couldn't handle the pass, goes out of bounds. It's Rutland's basketball. Raiders going with Mayhew, Aaron Bailey, Aaron Boynton, Jake Conway and Jake Eaton. Into the forecourt down the middle, Chris Mayhew. Stutter steps to the left side of the circle. Goes on the right now to Conway, open from three-point land, shot no good. And Borehill the rebound. Borehill into the forecourt. Borehill top of the circle, his 18-footer no good. It would have been a 2 rebound to Conway. And Conway dribbles up for the Raiders. 5 minutes left third quarter. Raiders have a 1-point lead, 38-37. With it is Mayhew, 1-3-1 Burr and Burton zone to Boynton. Now to the left sideline to Eaton. On the bounce down low, he wanted to go to Bailey, picked off nicely by Justin Wilson. Wilson goes now to Borehill. Borehill into the forecourt down the right sideline. Scott Borehill for the Bulldogs. Borehill controlling off the dribble against Mayhew, sends it out now to Colgrove. Now into Dudley-Macon, and his jumper's no good, but we got a foul on Boynton. He blocked it out of bounds. The foul on Boynton is his first. Second on the team, a shooting foul, and Damon Dudley-Macon will be out the line for 2. As Joe Duval and Greg Sinus check in for Rutland High for Jake Conway and Aaron Bailey. Matt Sieska checks out for Burr and Burton, and Alden Maddox checks in. 38-37, the Raiders by 1 with 4:31 left here in the third quarter. Dudley-Macon's first shot is good. That ties it at 38 apiece. We'll get another as in is Brendan Donahue for Burr and Burton for Scott Borehill.
Borehill leads the game with those 3 fouls that he picked up all in the first half.
Dudley-Macon's second shot around the rim and in, and Damon Dudley-Macon hits 2 free throws, and Burr and Burton has retaken the lead. The Bulldogs lead at 39-38. With it right sideline, Duval. Dribbles to the middle, sends it out on the bounce to Mayhew. Top of the circle. To the left sideline, he goes to Jake Eaton against the Burr and Burton zone. Dribbles to the middle, sends it on the right down to Mayhew. Wanted to go out to Duval and went behind him, and it goes out of bounds. Would have been a backcourt violation anyway. Burr and Burton will have the ball in the forecourt from the right sideline as Brendan Donahue puts the ball into play in the backcourt to Maddox. Donahue gets it back again in the forecourt. Burr and Burton's basketball, and the Bulldogs lead it by 1, 39-38. And we got a steal by Mayhew. Here he comes. Mayhew on the bounce to Duval. He lays it up and in left-handed. Great play by Mayhew. Duval finished it off. The Raiders retake the lead 40-39. Donahue sends it up to Maddox. Maddox into the forecourt for Burr and Burton. Maddox picked up off the man-to-man by Eaton. Gets it now to Wilson. Wilson now goes to Donahue. Drives baseline, lays it up, no good. Donahue tried to tap, but it went right to Boynton. Boynton for the Raiders in the backcourt goes to Mayhew. Mayhew skips into the forecourt down the middle of the key. Will dribble to the right and goes right sideline to Duval. Joe Duval on Colgrove. On the bounce to Eaton, and he has it knocked away. Goes right back to Duval. His 12-footer. Swish. Joe Duval puts the Raiders up by 3. It's Rutland 42, Burr and Burton 39. 3:15 left third quarter. With it is Dudley-Macon out front. Picked up by Duval. His pass picked off by Boynton. Boynton into the forecourt down the right sideline to Mayhew. On the bounce to Duval. Lays it up. No good. He was fouled by Damon Dudley-Macon. Duval will be at the line for 2 in the act of shooting. And the foul on Dudley-Macon is his 3rd, and that is the 2nd on the team here in the half. Sign us out. John Lind in for Rutland, and we got a timeout. on the floor. 3:04 left third quarter, timeout on the floor. And that was Burr and Burton's timeout. They have 2 left unofficially. Our score, Rutland 42, Burr and Burton 30.
Continues to shoot the ball well for the Raiders. 2 field goals already in this third quarter. He'll go to the line for 2 from the line after the Dudley Macon foul. That's his third. And already in this third quarter, we're seeing the ability of Chris Mayhew to penetrate, but more importantly, he has set up 3 baskets here in this third quarter because he's starting to dish the ball off now. Defenses realize that he's the penetrator. When they collapse on him, somebody's open. He's doing the senior leadership thing here now, and he's finding them.
Duval has hit the first. His second shot is around the rim and in. 2 free throws by Joe Duval, and the Raiders are up by 5, 44-39. Dudley Macon with it. All the way to the lane, dumps it off for Wilson, lays it up, no good. He was fouled by Aaron Boynton, and Justin Wilson will be at the line for 2 in the act of shooting. Foul on Boynton is second, that is the third on the team. 2:57 left third quarter, and Rutland's opened up a 5-point lead. The Raiders lead at 44-39. Justin Wilson in there right now for Burr and Burton. Also in there is Matt Sieska. Damon Dudley Macon is in there. Ben Colgrove is in there. And also Scott Borehill.
Only 1 field goal in this third quarter for the Bulldogs as Wilson hits the first of 2.
It's the first to make it. Rutland 44, Burr and Burton 40. He's got another one coming up.
1 field goal and 4, could be 5, and it is free throws here in this third quarter for the Bulldogs.
Wilson hits the second. 2 free throws for Wilson. 44-41. The Raiders lead it by 3. With it is Boynton, top of the circle on the right to Duval near the right sideline. Picked up by Colgrove off the zone. On the bounce, right baseline to Lynn, back out to Mayhew between the sideline and the key to Duval. Dribbles left to right across the key. On the left to Eaton, dribbles to the middle, back out front to Mayhew. Across the key to the left side of the lane, and his bounce pass picked off by Sieska. Sieska starts the break, lost the handle, and laid it up, no good. And the rebound to Eaton. Making that play defensively was Mayhew. Mayhew with the ball now, dumps it off for Boynton, and he lays it in. Great play by Mayhew. Did it at the defensive end and penetrated and dropped it off for Boynton. 46-41. The Raiders lead it by 5, but laying it up the other way as he went coast to coast, Justin Wilson, and the Raiders lead it by 3, 46-43. Wilson with the layup for the Bulldogs. And we have a scramble for the basketball, a steal by the Bulldogs. Sieska got it to Dudley Macon. Dudley Macon all the way to the lane, and he has it stolen away by Mayhew. Mayhew down the middle, 2-on-2 to the lane, dumps it now for Boynton underneath, wanted to go to Eaton, couldn't handle it. Picked off by Borehill, down court to Dudley Macon, he lays it in. Quick turnaround there, and is that the correct score? They got it tied up at 46 apiece down on the board, 46-45, but then we got the bucket by Jake Eaton, I believe, and that puts the Raiders up 48-45. They had the incorrect score up there. Jake Eaton did get the layup, and the Raiders lead it by 3 again. Some helter-skelter basketball. Here's Wilson for 3. It's in and out, no good. Rebound, Colgrove, up and good. It's going to count, and he got fouled. 48-47, the Raiders by 1 with 1:11 left third quarter, and Ben Colgrove has an opportunity for a 3-point play as Adam Wilcox checks in for Burr and Burton for Justin Wilson. Bailey's in for Duval for the Raiders, in for Lynn. Duval is also out. Who else just checked in?
Conway.
Conway checked in for the Raiders. That foul was on Lind, his first, 4th on the team. And Colgrove has an opportunity to tie it here, and he does as he hits the free throw. That ties it at 48 apiece. As Mayhew gets double teamed in the backcourt, throws it all the way down court to Eaton, lays it up, no good. Colgrove the rebound. They had broken the pressure, and Eaton missed the free throw, and Burr and Burton controls now with Dudley Macon into the lane, lays it up and in. Great move by Dudley Macon, went right to left and took it to the bucket. Inbounds pass knocked out of bounds by Matt Sieska. It's 50-48. Burr and Burton has taken the 2-point lead. 51 seconds left third quarter. With it it as Mayhew double teamed in the backcourt. Mayhew sends it along to Boynton, rifles to the forecourt for Conway. He drives and lays it in as he went to work on Wilcox. That ties it at 50 apiece. That's how you break the press.
It's been open several times now since Burr and Burton started picking up full court.
Dudley Macon with the left corner. His jumper's no good. Rebound to Mayhew. 30 seconds left third quarter. Mayhew into the forecourt down the middle. Mayhew controlling off the dribble out near midcourt. Sieska comes out to pick him up.
A lot of tired people on the court right now.
12 seconds left in the third quarter. We're tied at 50 apiece. Mayhew dumps it off for Boynton, and he lays it in. 52-50, the Raiders by 2. 4 seconds left here in the third quarter. Here's Boorhill for the long three at the buzzer. It's no good. So that's the end of 3 quarters of play here at the Keep Gym. After 3, our score, Rutland 52, Burr and Burton 50. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout.
Professional people prefer printing for
the third quarter, and the Raiders lead at 52-50 as we get set for the fourth quarter.
That's right. If it holds true to form, we'll be tied at the end of this
That's
quarter.
right, with Burr and Burton getting 18 points and Rutland 16.
I tell you what, Chris Mayhew in the third quarter has just added probably the most important piece to his all-round game. He is starting to see the open man under the basket. He did it 4 times in that third quarter. The last came on a beautiful no-look pass to Boynton, who laid it in with about 10 seconds left in the quarter. That gives Rutland that 2-point advantage that they enjoy right now.
And it's Rutland's basketball. We're underway fourth quarter. Conway on the bounce out front to Eaton. On the bounce left side to Mayhew, left baseline. Cross court now to Conway. Ducks underneath at the lane. Lays it up and in, but it won't count. Traveling violation on Jake Conway. Conway with Aaron Boynton, Aaron Bailey, Chris Mayhew, and Jake Eaton for the Raiders. Matt Sieska in there right now for the Bulldogs. Ben Colgrove is in there. Scott Boorhill, Damon Dudley make it as we got a steal by Eaton. Eaton goes coast to coast and lays it in. Stole the basketball from Sieska in the backcourt. 54-50, the Raiders by 4. Sieska drives baseline, lays it up, no good. And the rebound goes out of bounds. Off Burr and Burton's Adam Wilcox, and it'll be Rutland's basketball as Justin Wilson checks in for Burr and Burton for Ben Colgrove.
That's a great confidence booster for Jake Eaton to take it down under intense pressure. He missed the wide open lefty layup, converted on that one. I tell you, he's going to have such an enjoyable career here. That's a good play for Jake Eaton to start getting his confidence back.
Conway with it, right sideline for the Raiders against the zone. Goes to the right baseline to Boynton, steps back, sends it out front to Eaton, takes the 3, it's no good. Rebound to Boynton, chases it down at the corner, cross court to Mayhew, down the baseline, throws it out for Bailey left wing. Bailey now to the left baseline to Eaton, 17-footers, no good. Rebound to Sieska, outlet now to Dudley Macon, goes to work on Bailey, keeps, lays it up, no good. Rebound up and good by Justin Wilson. But the offensive rebound for the bucket, it's Rutland 54, Burr and Burton 52, 6:40 left in the ball game. Conway with it right sideline, pass knocked back to Conway by Wilson, got it out to Mayhew right side of the circle, back to Conway right sideline. Jake Conway looking around, sends it out front now to Eaton. Eaton top of the circle on the bounce, back to the right sideline to Conway to the right baseline. His runner's no good. Rebound to Conway, lays it up and in. The other side of the bucket after he missed the shot, took it on the left side and laid it in. Got the offensive rebound for the bucket as it was tapped around. 56-52. The Raiders by 4. 6:09 left in the ball game. And we got a whistle and a foul against the Raiders as Adam Wilcox tried to go to the bucket. And the foul is on Chris Mayhew. That's number 3 on Chris Mayhew. And that is number 5 on Rutland. And in the act of shooting was Adam Wilcox of Burr and Burton. He'll be at the line for 2. Wilcox, Damon Dudley Macon, and we'll finally get to the alignment here for Burr and Burton. Justin Wilson as the shot is up and good by Wilcox. Sieska is in there, and also Boorhill. 56-53, it's Rutland by 3.
That last bucket by Conway, classic example of his desire to go after the basketball. Underneath with all the trees, one person for Rutland, Jake Conway, getting the job done. He's like a pit bull out there.
Wilcox also got the second, hits them both. 56-54, Rutland by 2. Colgrove is in, Wilcox is out for Burr and Burton. We got a steal by Colgrove up to Dudley Macon. He ran into Mayhew, then picked it up again in the forecourt, then lost it to Conway, and we got a foul on Damon Dudley Macon, and that's number 4. Number 3 on the team here in the half. Okay, let's set the alignment here. It is Justin Wilson for Burr and Burton along with Ben Colgrove. Damon Dudley Macon is in there, Scott Borehill and Matt Sieska. For the Raiders, it is Aaron Bailey, Chris Mayhew, Jake Conway, Aaron Boynton, and Jake Eaton. It's Rutland 56, Burr and Burton 54, 5:45 left in the game. It's Rutland's basketball. Left sideline, Eaton. Cross court to the right sideline to Conway. Takes the three, it's no good. And Dudley Macon with a rebound. Shovels it ahead now for Borehill down the right sideline. Pulls up right wing, his 18-footer's good.
Wow.
And that ties it at 56 apiece. The other way against the 1-3-1 zone, Mayhew to Eaton between the left sideline and the key. Cross court on the bounce to Conway near the right sideline. Out front to Mayhew, dribbles to the left, ducks underneath, his runner's good. Chris Mayhew puts the Raiders up 58-56. This is a beauty. 5:08 left in the ball game. We knew it would be. Burr and Burton coming in at 4-1. The Raiders at 2-2. Sieska with it, right side of the circle. Dribbles into the lane. Had it knocked away. Got it back again at the left sideline as he dribbles around. Scoops it out front for Scott Borehill. Borehill picked up by Mayhew off the man-to-man. 4:50 left in the ball game. And he had it stolen away by Boynton. Down to Conway. Conway to Mayhew. He lays it up and in. 60-56, the Raiders by 4.
Mayhew was scoreless until the last two possessions for the Raiders.
We got another steal by Mayhew. Mayhew making it happen. Dribbles to the key, into the lane. Pulls up for the short jumper and hits. Chris Mayhew taking over in the fourth quarter. Conway the steal for the baseline. His jumper's no good. Rebound to Borehill. 62-56, the Raiders lead it as Borehill calls for the timeout. 4:23 left in the ball game. Burr and Burton's third timeout. Mayhew is taking control here in the fourth quarter as the Raiders have opened up a 6-point lead. We'll be back after this 30-second.
Call 775-0325.
Jack Healy with more than just sports headlines, mornings and afternoons on WSYB.
Mayhew has taken over here in the last minute or so.
And this from Bob Fredette from the Rutland Herald. 10 steals defensively in the second half here for the Raiders. They certainly stepped up their defense.
With it into the forecourt, Scott Borehill for the Bulldogs left sideline. He lost it out of bounds. Good defense. Put up there by Jake Conway. It's the Raiders basketball as Duval is in now. He's in with Bailey and Mayhew, Boynton, and Conway. 1-3-1 Burr and Burton zone. Mayhew sends it on the right to Conway. Conway on the bounce to Boynton. Right baseline, his jumper around the rim, no good. Rebound controlled by Justin Wilson of the Bulldogs. Got it down to Sieska. He drives, lays it up, no good. Offensive foul on Matt Sieska. It's number 3 on Sieska, 4 on the team. It's Rutland's basketball. 3:54 left in the ball game. Rutland 62, Burr and Burton 56.
Key stretch here for the Bulldogs is now Damon Dudley Macon, who was out, checks back into the scorer's table.
Yeah, he was out during that timeout to get a little breather.
He'll come in the next dead ball situation for the Bulldogs.
With it, right sideline, Conway, and the bounce out front to Duval. Duval dribbles to the key to the line. The left sideline to Mayhew. Head fakes, dribbles toward the middle as he directs the attack for the Raiders. Stops on the left and goes to Conway out front to the right sideline to Joe Duval. Duval comes cross court to Mayhew to the left baseline. Behind the back to Boynton. Boynton has trouble with it, and it's picked off by Wilson. Wilson gets it up to Borehill. Borehill to the right wing. His three is no good off the back of the rim. Rebound. 5-4 goes out of bounds. We got a foul on Aaron Boynton, I believe, in the rebounding action. That would be his third. And that is the 6th on the team. Here's Damon Dudley Macon checking back in for the Bulldogs for Colgrove. Also checking in during that timeout for the Bulldogs was Alden Maddox. As Borehill puts the ball into play now. As he got it into Wilson, left side of the lane, out to Maddox, left sideline. Maddox dribbles toward the middle, pulls up for the jumper. It's short, no good. Rebound, 5-4. Tapped around and dribbling out of traffic with a Duval. Picks it up and sends it back to Mayhew. 3 minutes left in the ball game. It's Rutland 62, Burr and Burton 56. Mayhew midcourt circle. Mayhew stops the dribble, goes right sideline to Joe Duval. Dribbles right to left now to the left sideline to Conway. He's double teamed off the zone. Conway gets it to Duval right side. Back out to Mayhew as the Raiders spread it out just a bit. Mayhew picked up by Sieska, gets it to the lane, and he's fouled. And they call that on Sieska. That's his 4th. That's the 5th on the team as Adam Wilcox checks back in for Burr and Burton. He checks in for Justin Wilson. Rutland's basketball from the baseline with 2:39 left in the ball game. There's Mayhew getting set to put the ball into play. Mayhew gets it in right baseline to Boynton. He lost control. It's picked off by the Bulldogs. Sieska goes coast to coast, stops at the free throw line for the jumper. It's no good off the back of the rim. Rebound to Boynton. We got a foul against Burr and Burton. I believe it's on Wilcox. If it is on Adam Wilcox, that is his first. That's the 6th on the team. It's a common foul. It'll be Rutland's basketball. Jake Eaton back in for the Raiders for Duval. So it's Eaton, Boynton, Conway, Bailey, and Mayhew. Back in Damon Dudley Macon getting a breather for Burr and Burton as Wilson checked back in. Raiders have it in the backcourt as the pass comes in to Conway, to Eaton, still in the backcourt. In a hurry, some full court pressure by the Bulldogs. They break it to Conway, now to Bailey. Bailey is mauled as he tried to go up with it from the baseline. Mauled by Justin Wilson, got a foul on Wilson, number 3. That puts Burr and Burton to the 17th foul, the 1-and-1, but it's a 2-shot foul. Bailey was of the active shooting. As Colgrove checks in, and also checking in is Damon Dudley Macon for Wilcox and Maddox.
Yeah, the situation substitutions will start to take effect now, as Dudley Macon has 4 fouls for Burr and Burton, so he'll come out on the defensive end. And now we're getting into free throws being the situations here for both ball clubs as Bailey misses the first.
He'll get another. He's at the line for 2. The Raiders lead it by 6, 62-56 with 2:22 left in the ball game.
It's been a good one. Without question, it's been a dandy tonight.
Second shot coming up for Aaron Bailey. He's got that one. He gets 1 out of 2, and the Raiders lead it by 7, 63-56. Scott Borhill into the forecourt for Burr and Burton, picked up by Mayhew. Borhill top of the circle, dribbles to the left now. 2:12 left in the ball game. Borhill dribbles left to right. Borhill to the right sideline to Ben Colgrove. Sends it out now to Justin Wilson. Wilson to the right side of the lane. He was fouled either by Boynton or Bailey. The 2 Aarons were both there. It's on Boynton.
That's 4 on Aaron Boynton.
And that is that puts the Raiders over the limit. They are in the 1-and-1 now. Is at the line for a 1-and-1 is Justin Wilson. And Alden Maddox checks in now for Burr and Burton for Ben Colgrove. 2:03 left in the ball game. It's the Raiders by 7, 63-56. Justin Wilson's shot is good. He'll get another. It's Rutland 63, Burr and Burton 57.
Both teams shooting the free throws very well tonight. Rutland unofficially 13 for 16 from the free throw line.
Second shot is up, no good off the back of the rim. Rebound to Bailey, and Bob Fredette tells us first Burr and Burton point in 3.5 minutes. They've got ice cold here in the 4th quarter. Raiders have it, 1:53 left of the ball game. Eaton out near midcourt. Eaton hands it off now to Mayhew down the left sideline. Mayhew to the left baseline. He went to Boynton. Boynton fouled by Borhill, and Aaron Boynton will be at the line for a 1-and-1. Borhill with his 4th foul. That's the 8th team foul on Burr and Burton. 1:45 left in the ball game. Rutland with a 63-57 lead. Colgrove is in for Maddox for Burr and Burton. And he's set to check in Greg Sinus for Rutland. What a tough ball game.
Burr and Burton's 14 for 17 from the free throw line. Rutland is 13 for 16.
Boynton's shot is good, and Aaron will get another as the Raiders go up 64-57.
A couple of the games we've done already this year, Jack, are actually last year in 1995, to be specific. A lot of the teams were struggling from the free throw line. Not the case here in this ball game.
Boynton's second shot is good. He gets them both, and the Raiders have opened up an 8-point lead, their biggest lead of the game. They lead at 65-57. Aaron Boynton is out, and Greg Sinus checks in for Rutland High.
That's a situation substitution. Now Boynton will check back in. He has 4 fouls. He'll come back in on the offensive end only.
Sieska with the top of the circle tries the 3. It's no good. Rebound Bailey. Came over and tore it down for the Raiders. With it now is Mayhew. 1:30 left in the ball game. Mayhew throws it in the forecourt for Eaton. Back out on the bounce to Mayhew. To the right sideline to Conway. Conway is fouled by Damon Dudley Macon.
And that's it for him. That's 5.
Yep, he is fouled out of the ball game. And that is also the 9th team foul on Burr and Burton, as Jake Conway will be at the line for a 1-and-1. Damon Dudley Macon is fouled out of the ball game, and
I don't know if
Coach
he realized he had 4 or not.
yeah, because it was foul that he came out. He knew he wanted to send them to the line.
That's right, yeah.
Usually you do that with a guy that's just got 1 or 2 fouls.
Right, yeah, that was a quick foul by Dudley Macon, 20 feet from the basket. Still with 1:22 left on the clock. There's still plenty of time. Anything can happen. But he reached in, and now he'll watch the last minute and a half, 1:22 specifically, from the bench.
And let's see who checks in.
He has 19. He'll leave the game with 19 points for the Bulldogs.
Maddox is in. Sieska is in. Colgrove also in. Wilson and Borehill for the Bulldogs. Conway at the line for a 1-and-1. Conway's in there with Sinus, Chris Mayhew, Aaron Bailey, and also Jake Eaton. 1:22 left in the ball game. Shot by Conway is good. Jake will get another. Rutland 66, Burr and Burton 57. Raiders have opened up a 9-point lead.
Although Dudley Macon did end up with 19 points, you go 31 minutes approximately with carrying Jake Conway around. He earned every one of those points.
He hits the second. 2 free throws for Conway, and the Raiders have opened up a 10-point lead, 67-57. With it is Justin Wilson out near midcourt, gets it to Borehill. Borehill dribbles left to right side of the circle, throws up the bomb. It's no good. Rebound to Sinus. Sinus fouled immediately by Colgrove, and Greg Sinus will be at the line for a 1-and-1. That's the second on Colgrove. Let's see. No, he should be at the line for 2. I got him for 10 team fouls. They got him for 9 on the board. It should be a 2-shot foul. 1:06 left in the ball game.
A 15-8.
How many team fouls do you got for Burr and Burton here? That's 10? Yeah, it should be 2. They only got 9 on the board. It doesn't matter now. We'll never know as he hits the first. Even if it was a 1-and-1, he would have had another one. Greg Sinus has hit the first. The Raiders have opened up an 11-point lead, 68-57. His second shot is good, and the Raiders lead it by 12, 69-57.
Rutland has only missed 1 free throw here in the second half.
There's Borehill left side for 3. No good. Rebound to Jake Eaton. Eaton double team in the backcourt. He's fouled. He'll be at the line for 2. This is definitely over the 10 limit now. The foul is on Alden Maddox, and that's, I think, his first. Yeah. John Lind is in. Aaron Carbonneau, Mike Stempeck for the Raiders, as the Raiders lead it by 12 with 56 seconds left. Conway, Bailey, and Mayhew all out. Eaton's in with Stempeck, Carbonneau, John Lind, and Greg Sinus right now. Jake Eaton at the line for 2. Ethan Barron getting set to check in as well. Shot by Jake is no good. He'll get another. I'll tell you, the Raiders lead it by 12. It looks like a rout when you read about it in the paper tomorrow.
It was anything.
You look at the final score, but really it virtually went to the wire. Second shot by Eaton is good. The Raiders lead it 70-57. As into the ball game now is Ethan Barron for the Raiders for Jake Eaton.
Eaton leading with 18 points here for the Raiders. A good offensive performance by Jake Eaton.
Borehill quickly into the forecourt, dumps it to the corner now for Wilson, to the sideline, back to the corner for Borehill. His 3 is good. It's Rutland 70 and Burr and Burton 60, 47 seconds left in the ball game. Burr and Burton immediately calls for a timeout. So the Raiders with that 10-point lead. We'll keep it right here. At the end of the, however, the difference is that Burr and Burton's only scored 10.
How about a couple more 18s? Eaton with 18, Conway with 18, Boynton with 10, and Duval with 14. Definitely balanced scoring for the Raiders.
Aaron Carbonneau in the backcourt. He lost it out of bounds. Burr and Burton's basketball with 43 seconds left in the ball game. We'll put the ball into play from the left sideline. Matt Sieska getting set to put the ball into play. Gets it into Borehill. Top of the circle, back to Sieska, left side. His long 3 is short. Rebound, Colgrove. Scoops it back out to Borehill. Right side of the circle for 3. No good. Colgrove the rebound. Short jumper in the lane is good. It's Rutland 70. Burr and Burton 62. Inbounds pass knocked out of bounds by Maddox. And so the Raiders will try again in the backcourt with 28 seconds left in the ball game. Raiders have that 8-point lead as it comes into Carbonneau, and Carbonneau is fouled by Borehill, and Borehill, I believe, is fouled out.
Yep, that's it for him.
So Damon Dudley Macon and also Scott Borehill have both fouled out for the Bulldogs, and Aaron Carbonneau will be at the line for 2 shots.
32 of the points for the Bulldogs are on the bench disqualified with fouls. Borehill leaves with 13. Dudley Macon, who fouled out a few moments ago, left with 19.
And it looks like Brendan Donahue would check in for Borehill, but they have a minute or so. 25 seconds left in the ball game.
You're going to take their sweet old time there. You're allowed some time there is when you lose a player to fouls, and that was Borehill. Definitely a big win for the Rutland Raiders.
Yeah, they'll go to 3-2. As a matter of fact, they're on the road the next couple of weeks. I don't believe they're back here until 2 weeks from tonight. It'll be MSG and Rutland here at the Keefe Gym. As Aaron Carbonneau at the line for 2 for Rutland High. And his shot is good. He'll get another. 71-62. Raiders with a 9-point lead. Second shot for Aaron Carbonneau around the rim, no good, and the rebound is controlled by the Bulldogs. Maddox got it to Donahue in the forecourt, 20 seconds left. Left corner, Wilson back out now to Sieska. His three is no good. Rebound to Carbonneau. Throws it in the forecourt for Stempeck. Stempeck gets it to Barrett. He lays it up. No good. In and out. Rebound to Donahue. 6 seconds left in the ball game to Colgrove. Now to Wilson from the left corner. His three is no good. And that's the ball game. Colgrove sending it to Wilson at the left corner, and a shot missed at the buzzer. And the Raiders win it by a score of 71-62 to go over the 500 mark. That's your final. Rutland 71, Burr and Burton 62. And the Raiders now at 3-2 on the year, and the Bulldogs fall to 4-2 on the year. Rutland 71, Burr and Burton 62. We'll wrap